It's strange exploring the places your ancestors lived, knowing that without these strangers you would not exist. Come with us as we visit current friends while exploring our roots, and I'll have some tips on how you might discover your past.
Here we go. All we need is an open road and a chance to see a never-ending world that's beautiful. Here we go with the sunlight on our skin. It's a brand new day. It's ours to take and we will let it in. This is where the adventure begins.
My mother's side of the family immigrated from the east of England in the mid to late 1800s, and the other part of her family came in the 1830s from a small town in what is now the Czech Republic, but at that time was part of Austria-Hungary. The relative from what is now the Czech Republic was J. Christoph Bergman. Christ, or Chris, as he was called apparently, met his wife who was a German immigrant, and they lived in Illinois, a small town in Wisconsin, and then, as the story goes, floated their family and belongings on a raft down the Mississippi River from just south of Minneapolis to St. Louis, and then made their way southwest, probably along what eventually became Route 66, to Cherokee County, Kansas. Chris became a farmer and had, from what I can tell, 2 children that died in childbirth, one that died at 2 years of age, another at 4 years of age, and 6 more who lived into adulthood. His youngest son, William, was my great-grandfather. In their old age, they lived in the town of Columbus. Columbus is the county seat and has a very Mayberry vibe to it. Just outside of town begins miles of farmland, small family farms that have been bought up by large corporate farmers.
We're together, we are stronger. We can lift each other.
About 8 miles from Columbus is my great-grandfather William's farm.
You're back and you got mine. When we're
He built the house himself out of thick-cut stones, and it still stands, albeit a little worse for wear and not inhabited. 3 miles from his old farm, I found the Edgemond Cemetery, where both of my great-grandparents are laid to rest.
and the tough kids going. If it's you and I, side by side, it's a little bit easier together.
Chris and his wife, Barbara, knew Americans when they emigrated in the 1800s, and 2 of his infant children are buried 8 miles away in a small, out-of-the-way cemetery. Walking through the old cemetery was a very sobering experience. The internet age makes tracing your genealogy a little easier than it used to be. I did a DNA test through Ancestry.com, and this connected me with several family trees of which I could find out more details. When I decided to visit this area of Kansas, I looked at a website called findagrave.com. Yes, there's actually a website to find graves. I was able to put in my great-grandfather's name, find his grave, and then find his father, who was buried 8 miles away. It's fun to know some of your own family history, so as you RV around the country or travel internationally, you might be able to connect with the places your ancestors came from and learn a little more about yourself. Just over the border into Oklahoma is the former town of Picher. Picher experienced an F4 tornado on May 10th, 2008. 6 people were killed and more than 150 were injured. Half the town was literally wiped off the map. Picher was also known as the most productive mining field in the area at one time, and even in most of the country, producing over $20 billion in ore. In fact, over 50% of the lead and zinc used in World War I came from Picher. Unfortunately, when mining ceased, the mines filled with water and became contaminated and started seeping into the drinking water and the rest of the ground. These hills you can see are actually millions of tons of toxic lead waste tailings piled around the openings to over 1,400 mine shafts dug in the area. The EPA made this a superfund site and finished cleanup just in time for the tornado to wipe out the town. The last graduating high school class graduated in 2009, and the town is almost an abandoned ghost town. Baxter Springs, Kansas is right on the Missouri border. It's a great small town right on Route 66. It's famous for being portrayed in the Disney film Cars.
Boy, you're in a heap of trouble.
You're gonna fix the road under my supervision.
What? This place is crazy.
Man, I know this may be a bad time right now, but you owe me $32,000 in legal fees.
What?
Our friends Larry and Debbie live just outside of Baxter Springs, Kansas. If you're coming from Kansas, you cut through the southwest corner of Missouri, come to the end of their road, cross onto their drive, and you're in Oklahoma. You have to go through Missouri, though, to get to their house, even though they're in another state. As Larry says, they get all the benefits of Missouri with the lower taxes of Oklahoma. They're on a small farm and are a great place to moochdock. It's quiet, peaceful, and beautiful. We sure did like visiting with them and catching up on old times. The RV life is all about catching up with old friends. Thanks for watching. We would love to have your help reaching our first 100 subscribers. We appreciate you helping us get closer to our goal each week. Subscribing and liking the episode by clicking on the little thumbs up icon really helps us reach new people for the channel. And if you hit the little bell, you'll get a notification whenever we post a new episode. We love building a community, and we thank you for taking time out of your busy day to subscribe. Happy travels, and we'll see you next time.